Hello everybody, welcome to my channel.
Shirley MacLaine is an American actress, dancer, singer, author, and spiritual explorer whose career has spanned more than 7 decades. Known for her versatility, wit, and fearless individuality, she has become one of Hollywood's most enduring and respected figures. Born April 24, 1934, in Richmond, Virginia, as Shirley MacLean Beaty, she grew up in a family that valued the arts. Her younger brother, Warren Beatty, would also become a major Hollywood star. From an early age, Shirley showed a passion for performance, studying ballet before shifting her focus to acting. Early career and rise to fame. MacLane's big break came almost by accident. While working as a chorus girl in Broadway's The Pajama Game, 1954, she was called to fill in for the injured star, and her performance caught the attention of Hollywood producer Hal B. Wallis. Soon after, she signed a contract with Paramount Pictures. Her film debut came in The Trouble with Harry, 1955, directed by Alfred Hitchcock, where her natural charm and comic timing made her stand out. She quickly established herself as a leading actress in films such as Around the World in 80 Days, 1956, Some Came Running, 1958, and The Apartment, 1960, opposite Jack Lemmon, one of her most iconic roles. Peak career and acclaim. In the 1960s and 1970s, MacLaine became known for portraying complex, independent women. Her performances in Irma la Douce, 1963, The Children's Hour, 1961, and Sweet Charity, 1969, showcased her ability to balance comedy, vulnerability, and strength. After several Academy Award nominations, she finally won the Oscar for Best Actress for her performance as Aurora Greenway in Terms of Endearment, 1983. A role that remains one of her defining achievements. Later career and continued success. Shirley MacLaine has continued to work prolifically well into the 21st century. Appearing in films like Steel Magnolias, 1989, Postcards from the Edge, 1990, In Her Shoes, 2005, Bernie, 2011, and The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, 2013. She also had memorable television roles, including in Downton Abbey, where she played the outspoken Martha Levinson. Spirituality and writing. Beyond acting, MacLaine is renowned for her deep interest in spirituality, reincarnation, and metaphysics. Her best-selling autobiographical book, Out on a Limb, 1983, detailed her spiritual journey and beliefs in past lives and cosmic consciousness. Though her ideas sparked controversy, they also made her a pioneer in popularizing New Age thought. She has since written more than a dozen books exploring philosophy, personal growth, and the mysteries of existence. Legacy. Shirley MacLaine's impact extends far beyond film. She is admired for her independence, authenticity, and refusal to conform to Hollywood's expectations. Her career, marked by courage, humor, and reinvention, continues to inspire new generations of performers. She has received numerous Lifetime Achievement honors, including the AFI Life Achievement Award, the Kennedy Center Honors, and a Golden Globe Cecil B. DeMille Award. Personal life. MacLaine was married once to businessman Steve Parker, with whom she had one daughter, Saki Parker. Known for her outspokenness and wit, she has lived life on her own terms, philosophically, professionally, and personally. Today, Shirley MacLaine remains a living legend, an artist whose boundless curiosity and fearless approach to life have made her one of the most fascinating figures in entertainment history. Early life and path to the stage. Shirley MacLaine grew up in a middle-class household in Richmond, Virginia. Her mother, Kathleen Corinne, was a drama teacher, while her father, Ira Owens Beatty, was a professor of psychology and public school administrator. Her upbringing was supportive but disciplined, and she often described her parents as open-minded and encouraging of creativity. A devoted ballet student, Shirley initially dreamed of becoming a dancer. However, her tall frame and pragmatic understanding of the ballet world led her to transition into acting, a move that would define her destiny. Her time on stage taught her discipline, timing, and the ability to connect physically with a character, skills that later translated seamlessly to film. After high school, she moved to New York City to pursue her career, taking the stage name MacLean, a slight variation on her birth name to distinguish herself professionally. Breakthrough in the golden age of Hollywood. MacLean's big break truly began with her Broadway understudy story, one of the great legends of show business. When actress Carol Haney injured her ankle during a performance of the Pajama game, Shirley stepped in as her replacement. Her electrifying performance caught the attention of Hollywood scouts, and she soon signed with Paramount Pictures. Her screen debut in Alfred Hitchcock's dark comedy The Trouble with Harry, 1955, immediately marked her as a fresh kind of leading lady, unconventional, approachable, witty, and emotionally real. Unlike the more glamorous stars of the time, MacLean embodied an every-woman quality that audiences found relatable. She followed up with a string of critically acclaimed performances, including Some Came Running, 1958, which earned her an Oscar nomination, Ask Any Girl, 1959, showcasing her comedic timing, and The Apartment, 1960, where she played Fran Kubelik, a complex, heartbroken elevator operator opposite Jack Lemmon and directed by Billy Wilder. That last performance became one of her career-defining roles, earning her another Oscar nomination and cementing her status as one of the leading actresses of her generation. Defying Hollywood stereotypes, Shirley MacLaine stood out not only for her talent but for her personality. She refused to conform to the submissive Hollywood image of women in the 1950s and 1960s. Outspoken, politically active, and intellectually curious, she often challenged the status quo. She was active in the Democratic Party, campaigned for George McGovern, and supported civil rights causes, unusual for an actress at the time. Her fearlessness sometimes made her controversial but also earned her respect as one of Hollywood's first truly independent women. The mature years, awards, books, and philosophy. After years of nominations, she won her long-awaited Academy Award for Terms of Endearment, 1983. A film that perfectly captured her talent for blending comedy and pathos. Her portrayal of Aurora Greenway, a sharp-tongued yet deeply loving mother, remains one of cinema's most memorable characters. That same decade, MacLaine began to devote more attention to her writing and exploration of spirituality. Her book Out on a Limb, 1983, chronicled her journey into metaphysics, reincarnation, and the search for higher consciousness. The book became a cultural phenomenon and was adapted into a television miniseries starring MacLaine herself. She continued to publish numerous works, including Dancing in the Light, 1985, Going Within, 1989, The Camino, A Journey of the Spirit, 2000, recounting her pilgrimage on the Camino de Santiago in Spain. Though some critics dismissed her spiritual writings, others saw her as a trailblazer who helped bring mystical and New Age ideas into mainstream discussion. Later career and longevity. Even as she aged, MacLaine remained active and relevant in film and television. She appeared in ensemble hits such as Steel Magnolias, 1989, Guarding Tess, 1994, Rumor Has It, 2005, Valentine's Day, 2010, The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, 2013, and The Last Word, 2017. Her guest role as Martha Levinson, Cora Crawley's sharp American mother in Downton Abbey, introduced her to a new generation of viewers and reminded audiences of her wit and vitality. Relationship with Warren Beatty. Shirley's relationship with her younger brother, Warren Beatty, has been both close and complex. They share a mutual respect as fellow artists and have often spoken about their differences in temperament and career paths. While MacLean explored introspection and spirituality, Beatty became known for his perfectionism and ambitious film projects. Despite occasional disagreements, their sibling bond remains strong, rooted in mutual admiration, personality, beliefs, and legacy. Shirley MacLaine has always lived life unapologetically. Her beliefs in reincarnation, extraterrestrial life, and soul connections have made her both a curiosity and a pioneer. She has said that her spiritual studies have helped her maintain peace and perspective amid the chaos of fame. Her humor about herself is one of her most enduring traits. When asked about aging, she once quipped, "I think of myself as 35, but my knees think they're 90. MacLane's influence can be seen in how she paved the way for actresses to be complex, outspoken, and self-possessed, qualities that today's Hollywood embraces more openly. She has earned nearly every major lifetime honor, including the AFI Life Achievement Award, 2012, the Kennedy Center Honors, 2013, and the Golden Globe Cecil B. DeMille Award, 1998. A living legend now in her 90s, Shirley MacLaine remains a force of nature, still witty, curious, and creative. She lives quietly in New Mexico, surrounded by nature, animals, and the spiritual peace she sought throughout her life. She continues to grant interviews and make occasional appearances, always reminding audiences of her enduring message that curiosity, humor, and self-discovery are the keys to a meaningful life. The actress who redefined Hollywood's leading lady. When Shirley MacLaine burst onto the Hollywood scene in the mid-1950s, she was unlike anyone else. While many of her contemporaries, Marilyn Monroe, Elizabeth Taylor, Grace Kelly, were seen as icons of glamour and beauty, MacLaine projected intelligence, honesty, and emotional authenticity. Her slightly tousled red hair, mischievous smile, and unfiltered personality made her instantly memorable. She often played characters who were flawed yet endearing, ordinary women navigating love, loneliness, and self-discovery. Her performances felt lived in, real, and emotionally unpredictable. This was most evident in Billy Wilder's The Apartment, 1960, where her portrayal of Fran Kubelik, a woman entangled in an affair with a married man, was both heartbreaking and hopeful. The film's bittersweet tone mirrored MacLaine's own range. She could make audiences laugh one moment and cry the next. Her chemistry with co-star Jack Lemmon became one of cinema's great pairings, continuing in Irma la Douce, 1963. A romantic comedy that showcased her impeccable comedic timing and depth. Throughout her career, she refused to be typecast, whether in dramas like The Children's Hour, 1961, where she played a teacher accused of having a same-sex relationship, or musicals like Sweet Charity, 1969, MacLaine constantly pushed boundaries. The latter film, directed by Bob Fosse, required grueling physical stamina and emotional intensity, qualities she handled with grace and flair. Courage and outspokenness in a changing industry. Shirley MacLaine came of age during a time when actresses were often controlled by studio contracts and publicists. Yet, she insisted on independence, turning down roles, challenging producers, and demanding equal pay long before it became a widespread movement. She was politically engaged, marching for civil rights and supporting liberal candidates. In the 1970s, she became one of the few stars to openly discuss feminism and the need for women to take charge of their own narratives. She once said, "I've always been independent. I don't like to rely on someone else to define me." Her voice, strong, candid, sometimes defiant, earned her admiration and resistance in equal measure. But over time, her confidence helped change perceptions of women in Hollywood. The spiritual explorer. Perhaps no part of MacLane's legacy is as controversial, or as fascinating, as her spiritual journey. Starting in the late 1970s, she began publicly discussing metaphysical subjects, reincarnation, past lives, meditation, energy fields, and extraterrestrial existence. Her book, Out on a Limb, 1983, became a cultural phenomenon. Blending autobiography with mystical exploration, she wrote about psychic experiences, soul connections, and communication beyond the physical world. Critics mocked her for it, but she remained unapologetic. "I don't care what people think," she often said. "I just want them to think." This was followed by more introspective works like Dancing in the Light, 1985, Going Within, 1989, The Camino, A Journey of the Spirit, 2000, chronicling her 500-mile spiritual pilgrimage across Spain, I'm All Over That, and Other Confessions, 2011, A candid reflection on aging, fame, and self-awareness. MacLane's books sold millions worldwide and introduced spiritual curiosity to mainstream audiences. Whether one agreed with her or not, she encouraged readers to look inward and question life's mysteries, personal life and relationships. MacLaine married producer Steve Parker in 1954, and the couple had one daughter, Saki Parker, born 1956. Their marriage was unconventional. MacLaine later revealed that it was an open relationship, a bold choice for its time. Though they separated in the 1970s, they remained on amicable terms for years. Her daughter Saki later wrote a memoir that described a complicated relationship with her famous mother, though MacLaine responded with grace, expressing love while acknowledging their differences. Despite a few public romances, Shirley has often said she found more fulfillment in her creative and spiritual pursuits than in traditional domestic life. "I've lived many lives," she once mused. "Just not all of them in this lifetime." An enduring career across generations. In later decades, MacLaine found joy in ensemble casts, mentoring younger actors, and relishing comedic roles. In Steel Magnolias, 1989, she played Weezer Boudreaux, a cranky, hilarious Southern woman whose sharp tongue hid a big heart. It became one of her most beloved roles. She continued working steadily in film and television into her 80s and 90s, appearing in Rumor Has It, 2005, Valentine's Day, 2010, Bernie, 2011, with Jack Black, The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, 2013, Elsa and Fred, 2014, a tender late-in-life romance with Christopher Plummer, The Last Word, 2017, in which she played a retired woman determined to control her own obituary. In Downton Abbey, her portrayal of Martha Levinson brought a brash, comedic American energy to the refined British world, delighting audiences worldwide. Awards, honors, and recognition. MacLane's long and extraordinary career has been recognized with countless honors. Academy Award for Best Actress, Terms of Endearment, 1983, 6 Academy Award nominations, total 7 Golden Globe Awards, including the Cecil B. DeMille Lifetime Achievement Award, BAFTA Award for Ask Any Girl, 1959, Emmy Award for her television work, Kennedy Center Honors, 2013, AFI Life Achievement Award, 2012, her AFI tribute included heartfelt tributes from Jack Nicholson, Meryl Streep, and Anne Hathaway, all of whom praised her fearlessness and authenticity. Legacy and influence. Shirley MacLaine's impact reaches beyond acting. She is admired as a trailblazer for women in Hollywood who demanded respect and autonomy, A bridge between old and modern Hollywood, connecting the glamour of the golden age with the depth of contemporary film. A cultural thinker, unafraid to explore consciousness and question reality. A performer of integrity, always more interested in truth than perfection. Her spiritual openness, humor, and resilience have made her a symbol of freedom, both artistic and personal. Even today, she continues to write, travel, and give interviews filled with humor and wisdom. When asked how she wants to be remembered, MacLaine once replied, "As someone who dared to be curious. I've never stopped asking why we're here, and I never will." Spiritual philosophy and inner awakening. By the late 1970s and early 1980s, Shirley MacLaine had reached the pinnacle of her acting career, but she began to ask herself deeper questions. Who am I beyond fame? What is my soul's purpose? Why are we here? These questions ignited a lifelong spiritual journey that would define the second half of her life as much as her film career defined the first. MacLaine began studying Eastern philosophies, meditation, and metaphysics. She became fascinated with concepts like reincarnation, karma, the soul's evolution, higher dimensions, and cosmic energy. Her ideas found expression in her landmark autobiographical book, Out on a Limb, 1983. The book's title reflected her own daring. She knew her ideas might invite skepticism, but she was unafraid to go beyond what was considered acceptable in Hollywood at the time. In Out on a Limb and its sequels, she explored her belief in past lives and how our souls learn lessons over multiple incarnations. The idea that thought and energy create reality. Encounters with spiritual teachers, mystics, and channelers. Her sense of connection to a greater cosmic intelligence, often described as divine love. She followed this with other bestsellers, such as Dancing in the Light, 1985, It's All in the Playing, 1987, and Going Within, 1989, where she emphasized meditation, inner peace, and living authentically. Though many critics dismissed her beliefs as eccentric, others saw her as a cultural pioneer, one of the first celebrities to openly discuss spirituality outside organized religion. She helped bring metaphysical ideas into mainstream conversation, paving the way for later generations of spiritually curious public figures. In one of her most famous quotes, she said, "I believe that the purpose of our lives is to evolve spiritually and emotionally. We are not just human beings, we are spiritual beings having a human experience." The Camino journey in 2000. At the age of 66, MacLaine undertook one of the most physically and spiritually demanding pilgrimages in the world, the Camino de Santiago, a 500-mile trek across Spain. She walked mostly alone, sleeping in monasteries and small inns, reflecting on her life and her many incarnations. Her book The Camino, A Journey of the Spirit, 2000, recounts not just the physical journey, but her mystical experiences along the way. She described moments of revelation, visions of ancient civilizations, and a deeper understanding of the Earth's spiritual energy. Her experience on the Camino represented a synthesis of her life's themes: courage, curiosity, endurance, and the search for truth. Artistry, humor, and fearlessness. Even as Shirley delved into spiritual subjects, she never lost her sharp wit or sense of humor. She often used self-deprecating humor to balance her mystical side. During interviews, she would say things like, "People think I'm crazy because I believe in reincarnation, but I've been called worse in other lifetimes." Her humor kept her relatable and disarmed critics. She never tried to convert anyone. Instead, she encouraged people to think for themselves and explore their own experiences. Relationships, family, and solitude. Though she has had friendships with some of the biggest names in Hollywood, Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Rat Pack members, Elizabeth Taylor, and many others, MacLean has always described herself as somewhat of a loner. She enjoys solitude, calling it the space where truth speaks. Her relationship with her brother Warren Beatty has been characterized by mutual respect and occasional creative tension. Both are strong-willed and brilliant artists with distinct approaches to fame. Shirley once said, "Warren and I are alike in that we're both independent thinkers, but we express it differently. I write about souls, he directs them." Her daughter, Saki Parker, has spoken about the challenges of growing up with a mother devoted to her career and spiritual path. But MacLean has expressed enduring love for her, emphasizing that everyone's journey to understanding is unique. Political and social engagement. MacLean's activism also reflects her curiosity and conscience. She campaigned for liberal politicians like George McGovern, Robert Kennedy, and Dennis Kucinich, supported the civil rights movement, and championed causes for women's equality and environmental awareness. Unlike many celebrities, she didn't treat politics as a trend. It was part of her broader philosophy that humanity is interconnected and responsible for its collective destiny. Influence and cultural impact. Shirley MacLaine's influence extends far beyond film and spirituality. She helped redefine what it means to be a public figure, a woman unafraid to question authority, challenge stereotypes, and embrace unconventional beliefs. Her spiritual writings inspired countless readers to explore meditation, yoga, and self-inquiry. Her openness about reincarnation influenced a wave of spiritual literature in the 1980s and 1990s, much of which owes its mainstream acceptance to her trailblazing voice. In cinema, she remains a role model for actresses seeking multidimensional, intelligent roles. Performers like Meryl Streep, Susan Sarandon, Julia Roberts, Emma Thompson, and Reese Witherspoon have all cited her as an inspiration for her blend of intelligence, sensuality, and courage. The essence of Shirley MacLaine. To this day, Shirley MacLaine embodies a rare combination of spiritual depth, comic timing, and artistic integrity. Her laughter and insights reveal a person who has lived fully, questioned deeply, and learned to see life as both a mystery and a masterpiece. In her own words, "We are here to learn lessons. Every person we meet, every love, every loss, every moment, it's all part of the curriculum of the soul." A legacy of light and curiosity. Now in her 90s, Shirley lives primarily in New Mexico, where she enjoys the serenity of nature, animals, and quiet reflection. She continues to write, speak, and occasionally act, proving that her creative spark remains alive. Her life story is not just about fame or film, it's about transcendence. She has transformed from dancer to actress, from icon to philosopher, from Hollywood starlet to spiritual elder. For generations, Shirley MacLaine has shown the world that a truly meaningful life is one lived with curiosity, humor, authenticity, and the courage to go out on a limb. Glowing Star. A deeper look into Shirley MacLaine's philosophy and worldview. By the time Shirley MacLaine published Out on a Limb in the early 1980s, she had already built one of the most successful acting careers in Hollywood. Yet, she felt there was something far greater to explore than fame, applause, or awards, something she called the invisible reality that holds everything together. Her journey wasn't just about curiosity, it was about self-realization. She believed that acting, and life itself, was an expression of the soul's creative evolution. For her, spirituality was not a separate pursuit from art, but an extension of it. Acting taught me to see through illusion. Once you see that the roles we play are temporary, you start wondering who the actor really is. In her spiritual writings and lectures, MacLaine emphasized several recurring themes. 1. Reincarnation and the eternal soul. MacLaine often described herself as an old soul, someone who has lived many lives in many forms, learning different lessons each time. She viewed life as a school, and each incarnation as a classroom for growth and awakening. She believed that we choose our life circumstances, including family, challenges, and even heartbreak, before we're born, in order to advance spiritually. Every relationship, she said, has a karmic purpose, even painful ones. We keep coming back until we get it right, she once said. Each lifetime is a rehearsal for understanding love. Her view of reincarnation was influenced by Hinduism, Buddhism, and esoteric teachings from the West. She often claimed that certain déjà vu experiences or powerful emotional reactions were echoes from previous existences. 2. Energy, consciousness, and the power of thought. One of MacLane's core beliefs is that everything is energy, thoughts, emotions, and even matter. To her, reality is not something fixed and external. It is something shaped by our perception and vibration. She encouraged people to be mindful of their inner dialogue, asserting that thought creates experience. Her concept closely aligns with what would later be known as the law of attraction, though she was exploring it decades before it became a mainstream idea. Our thoughts are electromagnetic. What we think, we attract. What we fear, we create. What we love, we become. This belief empowered her to live without fear of criticism or aging. She viewed aging as a natural process of evolution, the shedding of one layer of existence before beginning another. 3. The universe as a living consciousness. MacLane's writings frequently explore the idea that the universe is not random but intelligent and interconnected. She believed that every living being, from humans to animals to planets, participates in the expansion of universal awareness. She described moments of cosmic connection, particularly during meditation or travel, where she felt the pulse of the universe flowing through her. These experiences deepened her compassion for others and shaped her environmental and humanitarian awareness. We are stardust learning to know itself. The universe breathes through us. 4. Love and compassion as the ultimate lesson. Despite her fascination with metaphysics, MacLaine often said that all spiritual searching leads back to one simple truth. Love is the foundation of everything. She defined love not as romance or attachment, but as a state of higher awareness, a recognition of unity with all beings. Her later works, such as Saging While Aging, 2007, reflected this evolved understanding. Aging, to her, was an opportunity to cultivate wisdom, humor, and love without ego. Love is not something you fall into. It is what you are when you remember who you are. Clapperboard art, authenticity, and evolution. For Shirley MacLaine, the art of acting was inseparable from spiritual exploration. She approached each character as a chance to understand a new aspect of the human experience: joy, grief, longing, transformation. She once said that she preferred flawed, ordinary characters because they revealed the truth of humanity. Whether playing the fragile Fran Kubelik in The Apartment, the fiery Aurora in Terms of Endearment, or the cynical Weezer in Steel Magnolias, she infused her roles with compassion and honesty. Her performances never relied on vanity. She wasn't afraid to look foolish, angry, or vulnerable, because she believed the soul grows through authenticity, not perfection. Perfection is the death of creation. It's the cracks that let the light come in. Globe. Shirley MacLaine as a cultural catalyst. While many admired her as an actress, her spiritual openness made her something larger, a bridge between Hollywood glamour and cosmic consciousness. In an era when celebrities carefully curated their public images, MacLaine spoke about reincarnation, UFOs, energy fields, and karma on national television. Some laughed, others listened, but everyone paid attention. Her courage to speak freely inspired countless people to explore meditation, yoga, channeling, astrology, and self-inquiry. Figures like Oprah Winfrey and Deepak Chopra later cited her as an early pioneer who helped open the cultural conversation around personal spirituality. She also anticipated the mind-body connection long before it entered medical or psychological discourse, emphasizing how emotions and beliefs affect physical health. Trophy a life of achievement and recognition. By the early 2000s, Shirley MacLaine had received virtually every major award an entertainer could achieve. Yet she often said her proudest accomplishment was not an Oscar or a Golden Globe, but the fact that she remained authentic through it all. She once joked, "The Oscar was nice, but self-awareness is better. You can't polish a trophy forever." Her filmography is vast and acclaimed, including The Trouble with Harry, 1955, Some Came Running, 1958, The Apartment, 1960, The Children's Hour, 1961, Irma la Douce, 1963, Sweet Charity, 1969, The Turning Point, 1977, Terms of Endearment, 1983. Academy Award Steel Magnolias, 1989, Postcards from the Edge, 1990, In Her Shoes, 2005, Bernie, 2011, The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, 2013, The Last Word, 2017, Her career longevity, more than 70 years, is a testament to her adaptability, intelligence, and spirit. Crescent Moon legacy and the wisdom of a lifetime. Now well into her 90s, Shirley MacLaine continues to live with humor, grace, and curiosity. She spends much of her time in New Mexico, surrounded by mountains, animals, and the vast desert skies she loves. She continues to write and occasionally appear in documentaries and interviews, reflecting on art, life, and the mysteries of existence. Her message remains consistent: seek truth, not approval. Stay curious. Laugh at life, it's all a play, and we're all actors learning our lines. When I die, she once quipped, I'm just going to change costumes. Her life, art, and philosophy have become inseparable, a single ongoing act of expression that has touched millions. Whether audiences remember her for The Apartment or Out on a Limb, Shirley MacLaine will always represent the union of intellect, humor, and spiritual wonder. Hollywood's independent spirit. From the very beginning, Shirley MacLaine refused to play by Hollywood's rules. When she arrived in Los Angeles in the mid-1950s, the studio system still controlled actors' lives, dictating how they dressed, whom they dated, and even what they said in public. Shirley ignored all that. She spoke her mind in interviews, negotiated her own contracts, and fought for creative freedom at a time when few women dared to. While others cultivated mystique, Shirley cultivated honesty. She appeared on talk shows with her hair unstyled, laughing about life's absurdities and telling stories about the strange, beautiful chaos of Hollywood. This authenticity made her beloved by many and intimidating to others. She developed close working friendships with directors and co-stars who valued her strength and wit. Billy Wilder, who directed her in The Apartment, and Irma la Douce, called her a woman with the timing of a comedian and the soul of a philosopher. Jack Lemmon, her frequent collaborator, said she had the best instinct for truth I've ever seen. She also moved easily among Hollywood legends such as Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, and Sammy Davis Jr. Though she always remained slightly outside the glamorous Rat Pack culture, friendly, funny, but fiercely her own person. Face mask. Her philosophy of acting. MacLaine viewed acting not merely as entertainment, but as a form of spiritual practice. She once said, "Each character I play teaches me something about myself." Acting is meditation in motion. She often talked about how roles found her at the right time in her life, The Apartment, 1960, reflected her innocence and heartbreak in her 20s. Sweet Charity, 1969, symbolized her search for self-worth amid illusion. The Turning Point, 1977, mirrored her transition from ambition to introspection. Terms of Endearment, 1983, embodied maternal love and emotional maturity. Steel Magnolias, 1989, represented wisdom through humor and resilience. Every decade of her career paralleled her own evolution as a person, from ingenue to philosopher, from rebel to sage. Dizzy friendships and collaborations. Shirley MacLaine's Hollywood friendships were as eclectic as her interests. She maintained lifelong respect for Jack Nicholson, her Terms of Endearment co-star, who matched her boldness on screen. Their fiery, funny dynamic made the film unforgettable, and they became genuine friends afterward. With Deborah Winger, her younger co-star in Terms of Endearment, Shirley had a famously tense relationship during filming. Years later, she laughed about it. "We were like mother and daughter, full of love, conflict, and truth. That's why it worked." She also shared deep bonds with actors such as Meryl Streep, Anne Bancroft, and Christopher Plummer, who admired her fearlessness and humor. Among directors, Bob Fosse adored her commitment during Sweet Charity, and Richard Linklater praised her professionalism on Bernie, 2011, calling her as sharp as ever, funny, spiritual, grounded, and endlessly.
Bye bye. Thanks for watching. Bye.